Antennas.
To go into mid where they would meet Xand, right? I'm curious to see how Maçini is going to play this Sky over here at elbow. The coordination between Xand and Maçini is really going to affect how this round plays out.
Geçti drop.
Yeah, will they be ready for the aggression? Tens creeping down mid, gets a couple of spots, the damage comes through. It's Xand though to take down Dapper. Can he find anything else? Tens still out there looking for the damage, and he will get it off of the distraction. And that's a good start ultimately here for Tens, because I mean they're looking for that information. Gonna get it, keep the pressure on. 3 versus 4 now for Sentinels as we see Furia beginning to move behind the wall towards that A site. You got Soms there as well, right behind that wall, and he's certainly ready to try to punish this one. Oh, he takes critical damage. Tens though, oh, that looked painful from a distance. Comes Tens once again with the Sheriff. He's everywhere.
But look at this, Dan. Maçini is telling his team to come back over to this B site. You know, NCR's a little bit skeptical that there could have been a player that pushed mid. So moving at a snail's pace right now, but this B site is completely open. He has all the time in the world. The spike will go down. We'll be in a 2-on-3. And judging by the look of Maçini, he might take an aggressive ground.
Sky'ın alacağı pozisyon çok önemli şu an.
Which would lead me to believe NCR is going to plant aggressively as well. This could get interesting.
Yeah, because they have to assume a rotation is coming from the defenders by now. So not seeing anyone in spawn is a good tell for Furia for this post
gidiyor.
Oh,
öldü bir de
out in the open is all on Maçini.
Onun da nerede olduğunu biliyorlar şu an Maçini'nin de.
More range to play with, but the wall comes through. Oh wow, it's tagged immediately. Quick pop flash through. It's going to see 2 players, but there's nothing they can do about it.
No flash for 30 seconds, Dan. There's no time.
Just touches the wall, and he's already down to 6 HP. And there is the defuse. You're absolutely right. Sentinels, very well done. Off of the mid pressure. That was a very tenuous scenario for Furia to try to contend with.
Yeah, that's a very difficult scenario for Furia to deal with. I don't really see very often 3 players pushing out of elbow on B site, right? This was always designed to shut down any aggression. Unlike, you know, the first map, Dan, which was Furia's choice.
Normal gittim optikçiden, al bana çerçeveleri gösterir misin? Hemen direkt aldım. Böyle belli bir model vesaire değil yani.
Oh, look at this.
Numaralı ayrıca benim gördüğüm.
Stack here, and based on this facing, this is going to be an A split, but it won't even get there.
They've got the force coming through as well. It's a Sheriff to kick things off here for QCK. Furia 5 versus 4, but Dapper. Don't think they expect him here.
Gerçekten her gün açıklamaktan çok sıkıldım arkadaşlar. Şu gözlük modelimi sormayı bırakın artık amına koyayım ya. O kadar zor bir gözlük modeli de değil yani. Bildiğin şeffaf çerçeve ya. Dümdüz Dümdüz gözlük amına koyayım ya.
Furia have players in position. And they were able to deal with everything Sentinels have thrown at them so far. But it's the hardest test last.
Indeed. Tens remaining with this Guardian in hand. Spike still not planted. Just coming into the site right now. Maçini planting in that right pyramid.
That's close. Nice play there, Mr. Guardian. Tens. Oh, he can't get anything done, Maçini. That's 3 kills for Maçini. Such an important player in mid, supporting his teammates, trading out, and it was a force buy. So Sean, yeah, Sentinels win their first pistol, but actually it kind of plays against them, doesn't it?
Yeah, they don't like starting these matches off on the right foot, do they, Dan? And this was a round where it just seemed like they were trying to flex their confidence that they ended that first map in, and it bit them. It bit them real hard. They overextended into mid, and Furia hit some nutty shots to punish them. Yeah. A site was lost so quickly.
Yeah, Furia have a great sense of where to take. They understand where the map is weak.
Yes.
Quite quickly. Looks like they want to go very quick into this B site. They've got the wall up. 2 players here. Can they make the entries work for themselves? Flashes to follow as well. Still though, Sick holding with that frenzy at the backside, but surely not long for this world. So many players coming through, and indeed, it's going to be Dapper to be able to do something. Only peeling off 1 hit, just have sneaks to the back lines, but just with the classic, will get denied. And 1 by 1, Sentinels not able to find the kills that they're looking for.
Just like that first map, Tens is just looking to get his ult orbs built up on this Marshall. It's pretty unlikely they actually, I say that, but 3 of these players can die from 1 Marshall shot, Dan. It could happen.
All kind of intermittently going up and down causes problems, and actually Khalil on the Killjoy.
Bunlar az önceki eli nasıl verdi Sentinels'e ya?
Almost a flawless, not quite, but 4 players survive, which is certainly key because, of course, Sentinels they force bought against Furia's previous force buy, and the force buy wars have been won by Furia.
I feel like I'm in some kind of force buy inception. Just everyone's force buying.
Gerçekten morumbet ya. Ne gözlükmüş amına koyayım yani. Bir de öyle özene aldığım bir gözlük olsa hadi neyse yani. Gittim random bir optikçiye girdim. Abi bana gözlük lazım. Reçetemi verdim. Adam dedi al kardeşim çerçeveler bunlar. Abi şu olsun dedim ya, fark etmez dedim yani.
Very interesting combo. Fall back. This is such a different look from Sentinels, who typically had Zombs nesting in this B site, and they allowed Dapper to play Killjoy, actually, and play the A site. Such a different look that Furia is dealing with. They're trying to scout out the map, just get a feel for things, see how Sentinels are set up. You can see this is now going to be shifted towards the B site. So Viper has clung onto that wall, and you can see QCK is going to make...
Ridik bir tane ünlem gözlük diye bir komut yapalım. Çünkü bok çıktı, ben sinirlerime hakim olamıyorum. Birine gireceğim çünkü boydan. Onu ünlem gözlük diye yapalım. Bir tanesi biliyordu modelini. Tamam.
The snake bite there, unfortunately for him, and backside 6 going to go down. Another good
1.85 yani, o da acıtır. Biri biliyordu chatten ya modelini tam, benim gözlüğüm. Motivum bilmem ne diyordu.
And Tens looks to find a timing. Oh, he actually catches it before the spike goes down. That's a huge kill. Now time is against him. Khalil on that flank.
Tens alır.
Pick off one more. It's up to Tens, and Tens just again is such a coin flip in the Viper's pit, and Xan will take full advantage. 3-1 lead for Furia now.
Oh, man, I don't know what version of Sentinels we're seeing right now on the defensive side, Dan, but it's lacking all creativity and imagination. When I watch Furia come into the site, all of their utility is synergized so well with each other, right? Zan creating space with the dash, the guiding lights coming in from Mazin, the wall coming in from QCK, everything is perfect. But when you look at Sentinels, you see, Dapper taking an individual fight at Pillar, Sick taking an individual fight over there in the corner. Everyone's taking individual fights on Sentinels, and that ended up working in the first map because their attack half bailed them out. But if they start bad here, it could be rough.
Yeah, we have, like we saw in the last anti-eco scenario for Furia, they just go for a site here. This time it's A instead of B. Seekers are available for Sick, for Sentinels, if they want to try to go for a retake with them. They're already close here. Sentinels looking for the frags, but we have a beautiful display from Furia on this defense.
Fena sızdı, fena.
Can he find anything? No. It's the Prime Gaming flawless coming through for Furia. And once again, Sean, just like I said,
ya Ferit, bu BTC ne olacak abi? Abi BTC şu an akümüle olmuş. Bir düşüş trendinde tekrardan ama yönümüz yukarı. Bakıyorum şöyle bir 45K'ya bir düzeltme atıp artık oradan da böyle son longçuları likidite edip oradan yolu öne açık. Tabii.
Oh, we might just get a straight contact through to this B site. They're just, in fact, yeah, absolutely going for it. There goes the dash. You talked about Xan being good at creating space for the team, and he's already got backside control, so they know that Sentinels are everywhere but here right now, and
çok
going to get
mantıklı.
a plan. And lots of util for the retake, including the Seekers available still for Sick.
They do have a lot of utility, Dan, but this is a scenario where in the past, Sentinels had a Viper wall on the B site to work with on these retakes. This retake is going to be incredibly difficult, and if Khalil pops this lockdown, that's going to make it nearly impossible.
Yeah, that toxic screen going up again. It's really difficult to deal with. Sick is making some noise there on the flank, so they know that flank is compromised. But on the front, QCK will get all the kills from backside. Beautiful stuff there. Speaking of which, Sick will get some damage in, but there's just simply not enough left.
Oğlum 5-1 oldu. Alo.
Fantastic round, great take, and abusing, as you said, the fact that the toxic screen was already in play for Sentinels on the A site early on.
Yeah, it doesn't look like Sentinels has any answers to these hits, Dan. It looks like they're only prepared to stop A hits, which is typically where the attacks happen on Breeze. Unfortunately, you have to stop the B1s too.
Bir dahaki el 13-4 falan biter dedim. 5 ama var ya maksimum 6 el. Bak şimdi 6'yı da alırlar maksimum. Sonra bitti.
Man, we could just keep going B forever. We could fake B and they would definitely bite. And it opens up this A site in rounds like this.
Şimdi başlıyor birazdan.
This is the thing, you know, we've seen Fury oscillate between A and B on the anti-eco. This time, TenZ does have that Blade Storm. He will be likely coming in through the mid doors. So he wants to get that action in early and get the kills in early. We'll see if he can find something. Again, that wall obscuring vision. Will we get an updraft? There comes the updraft. TenZ able to take down 1-3. Quick kills, quick succession comes through for Sentinels. And there's little response here right now from Furia. They
bu kadar abi, bu kadar. Bu kadar arkadaşlar.
In favor of Sentinels, and they're going to pick up a
başladı şimdi Sentinels.
Whoever wrote these scripts, Dan, it's getting gold because this is
like the same formula as a Sent.
I feel like we're on the same point. TenZ Blade Storm comes out, huge round from Sick, TenZ, Zoms, everyone came up so big from Sentinels.
Yani ligin en önemli zamanlarında 2 maç ceza alması yakışmadı İrfan Can'a.
But you cannot just get blown out of the water. It's not that attack sided. And they do, you know, Furia has a lot to work with right here. That lockdown, it doesn't have as much impact on a massive map like Breeze. Yeah. But still, I have seen tons of success when Killjoys aggress into A halls and use it aggressively early round, or push up B. You know, use it in the middle of an execute as opposed to start the execute.
Amcık seni.
Rounds like that seem very successful on Breeze. So I'm scared if I'm Sentinels right now. I'm gonna probably be, you know, resorting to, if they have a deeper gameplay than the one we've seen so far where they're taking individual fights, they're going to have to resort to that.
No,
I totally agree, and I think it is interesting in that, yes, as you say, it does look quite similar to the way the first map started in this series, but indeed, the looks on the defense are...
Sen takıp tutma. Kimi tutsan yeniliyor. Az kalsın Gambit'in oraya düşecek.
In terms of a consistently good approach from Sentinels so far. Of course, there's still the rest of the half to play out, and we'll be kicking it off once again here. 5-2 in the lead on Furia.
This is their tried and true, right? I mean, the difference would be that Dapper's on Cypher, so now he can loan his trip over there to the doors lurk in halls.
Tamam, olur.
Trip over by tree, by pyramids, and now Zoms is on this B site where he'll throw the poison orb at B main, he'll have the retake wall ready, and actually, if you look at that, the ult comes out right off the rip over there at B.
Yeah, the response here will be very interesting. How do Furia want to handle this? But first, we have this challenge in mid. Oh, the angle for TenZ.
Eyvah.
Perfect timing. Couldn't be better.
Couldn't be better. Yeah, that was very risky. Playing with the drone. Catches the timing on Xhand, who actually has the Blade Storm as well. What a huge find.
Buraya daha da el alamaz.
And now it's even worse, because that Viper's pit is down on B. And... you know, it really is a question of what do we do here. And we can see them gravitating towards that B side. They do have, of course, as we can see, Marsden deep here towards halls, takes the fight. That was a pretty good fight to take, but unfortunately, it does not go Furia's way.
Yeah, and that's actually, I believe, Shaz's first frag of the game. So he's on the board now, and the elbow lurk is on for Furia. You can see that's their poison orb. They get behind it. They take the angle into Nest, push Shaz off. Recollect that orb, and now pushing him back a little bit more.
But again, as it's a 3 versus 5,
30 seconds
or I should say 5 versus 3 from Sentinel's perspective, they don't have to do anything crazy here. They have eyes on every position. Playing for delay, playing for retake, you know, all of that works quite nicely in this scenario. And you can see that, in fact, Fury don't have time to even do anything here. They're going to save their weapons.
Yeah, they don't have time, or they don't have the right utility to even deal with this Viper's Pit, to be honest, right? If they had the drone still on NZR, if his recon recharged a little bit earlier than it just did, if Mazen didn't lurk through halls and had a Trailblazer still or Guiding Lights, it could have been done. But in a 5-on-3, like you mentioned, you know, you're probably better off taking those weapons in the next round. Smart choice there from Furia. They're looking at the long game here in this half. And I think, you know, based on what we saw on the first map, that could be very impactful if they have good buys late in the half.
Yeah, totally agree. And I think this was a great fight from Mazen. You're behind, you've got no map control. You have a 1v1, that's great.
Yes.
But
Banza tam teresi hem Fenton çok gidiyor hem gidip hem de gidip ben de aldım. Abi o map'e göre bulunduğu side'e göre değiştiriyor çocuk.
Yeah, that's an early pick though from
Onu da
Sick.
söylüyor zaten
Scan
yani.
the B window. They have a zero control utility, Dan. This is about to get real scrappy at the A side.
Breeze oynuyorlar
This is a
oğlum.
problem.
Tabii Vandal
This is a
oynayacak.
really huge problem.
Vandal.
They're looking for something to be given. Shazam doesn't have to do too much, edging his way forward, spots the Trailblazer, knows exactly where Sky has to be. There's that Trailblazer, where's that peek? It's delayed! And Xan actually takes down Shazam. The bait and switch pays off here, and they'll trigger the push into the A site. And it's just up to these gunfights now as we see Sentinels trying to hold on to the pyramids. Tens out there, large and in charge, but not for too much longer. Xan able to take him down. 2 versus 3 for Furia though, still a lot of work to do. And there's another frag.
Ve 2. Ultisi var Skin. Arkadan geliyor. Oo, yeri de güzel.
We're on a 2-on-2, but this flank from Sick is so timely. NCR's on the other side of Pyramids, though. I think they have a feeling that someone is on the flank. Look, they're pushing aggressively towards defender spawn here.
Nice
That's a flick and a
oğlum.
half from Zoms, leaving Xan 27 HP left. You're gonna get hit by the Seeker.
Tertemiz.
There's nothing you can do from that spot. 4 to 5.
Sike yazarım bu ele.
Sentinels making it a repeat of that first map so far, at least.
Yeah, the comeback is kind of starting to look nice here. If you're a Sentinels fan, you know, clawing back into the half. Still find themselves down 4 to 5, but you know, it looks like they've made that shift on their defensive half, the one that we saw on Ascent. The shift here, though, is quite different. It's a positional shift. They've moved Zoms over to this B site. I can see him right now on the minimap actually setting up his wall there. So the difference in looks has clearly affected Furia a little bit here. They're getting caught off by the timings of certain agents on different locations. So
yeah,
big adjustment coming out of Sentinels to get to this point.
Yeah, I really like that we see another timeout here coming through from Furia, because again, and speaking of adjustments, you know, Valorant, you don't get too much time to make those adjustments, and Sentinel's adjustments, switching Viper defensively over to B, that has really put Sentinels in a great spot. Without the threat to B that was previously there, without those quick pushes, without that util to deal with, Furia have nothing right now. So what do? It feels like going into A is not what they want to do against the likes of Tens and Dapper. So is it about mid control? You know, how do they try to find the pick by pressuring mid around that mid round? That's the question for me. Like, what is the adjustment? You can't just let Sentinels have this B control, because that's what's working for them.
Yeah, it really feels like Furia had a lot of focus early on mid control, and then they'd fall back into these B hits. The B hits have slowed down a lot. They're not working as well as they were earlier in this game, but we still see this same mid control default. I see the Viper lining up a poison orb for those doors up in halls. I see Sky over here at elbow, the Jet and Sova are going for mid control. You know, Furia's sticking to the tried and true. They're working the map. This is what has worked for them thus far, and they're going to continue doing it.
Yeah, we'll get that deep poison orb there on holes as well to deny vision. Shazam's normally been the player spotting from that position. Ends with that mid-aggression, and he's going to get caught this time by NZR, so that's some revenge. 5 versus 4, it's the IGL's dream. Sean, on the attack, you got the whole round left to play with a minute and a half.
And you've taken out the player that does all the prodding and all the annoying stuff you have to worry about if you're that attacker IGL. So you can see now, you know, now that Furia knows this, they're in this man-up scenario. They've pushed back A with the Killjoy utility. They know no one's pushed. They push back A also with the Poison Orb. They're quickly grouping for this B hit, and they need to do it fast, because if you look at Sick on the minimap right now, he's pushing through all. He's getting all the info. Shaz is already here at the B site, and Zoms is here as well with his wall up, with the orb there as well. This has to be explosive.
It certainly does, and they've been able to do that previously, but the snake by stay lasts forever. It feels like that. A couple frags come through. There's the Hunter's Fury. He's going to get Zoms. Oh, you love to see that killer actually leading the fire. There's actually nowhere to stand. And they I don't know how Dapper does this, but 1v5, the double P comes in, and it's a prime gaming flawless at the moment when they needed it the most.
Yes, that's gorgeous. I love seeing the paired ultimates from the initiators. Right there we saw the Seekers. The Seekers go out, there's 3 of them. They're going to find, each of them find a separate player on the defender team. And this Sova pops the Hunter's Fury, and all you need to do is just follow the Seekers. Just aim where the Seekers are going. Yeah. That just seems like an OP combo of ults.
Well, like you say, ults were used there, but we do have Blaze Storm, we've got Viper's Pit, we've got the lockdown still. I don't believe we've seen Khalil's lockdown this half yet.
No, we haven't.
Bilmiyorum Emre Doğan. Bilmiyorum abi. Artık itemlarımız, markalarını, isimlerini sormayın.
He's made his way to the door.
Bilmiyorum, hatırlamıyorum ne diye geçiyor. Aykos'un pod mod gibi bir şey işte.
Got a lot of control in mid at the moment, so
this is very, very aggressive. The Killjoy with the lockdown in hand goes up to the trip, and there's the ult that I was referring to. So he puts the alarm bot by the trip just to secure his ult, and his teammates are going to go with this. Look, it connects perfectly to that Viper's toxin screen. Dan, this is so drilled.
Neyi?
Yeah, that's actually gorgeous to see. Play out there from Furia. Shazam will get delayed just a little bit more by the Nano Swarm there towards heaven. Sentinels waiting, trying to coordinate themselves for the retake through door, through spawn. Xan finding some good damage with those daggers, and Khalil as well gets one. Shazam picks up a double, but there's a Viper's Pit still yet to contend with, and he does not have a drone. Tens is just going to have to go straight into it, into the Viper's Pit, and it's just Tens now. What can he find? 3 players. Gets himself around the back, but Martin with a very fast headshot to respond. 7-4, and it looks like we're diverging from the script of map 1 finally for Furia.
I think so. Furia busted out all of those ults you were talking about, Dan, in back-to-back rounds. 2 on the B round, 3 on this A round, and dang, did they look clean in these rounds doing so. I mean, I just want to draw attention too to that really cool aspect. The Viper drops the ult right there for that last kill. They know Tens is lurking in the ult, so just drops the ult. Found ya. Real cool right there from Furia. But this is the round where they have no ults to work with, and we've seen Sentinels have a lot of success on these rounds, and we're back to it.
Well, interesting. So we'll get the picks going both ways there, one in halls, and then one towards Dapper, who's actually pushing B. So what does that tell Furia about the A setup?
This is very aggressive from Shazam. He can hear a lot of footsteps from deep in attacker spawn, where attackers typically wouldn't believe they're being heard. So I think Shaz is going to get some early comms here to his teammates, and I would expect Furia to be going into a stacked site here.
I feel like QC is so on the edge of the... Okay, now he's certainly, surely, he must have heard.
Yeah, and you can even see Zoms is kind of like leaning a little bit towards B right now. But Tens has actually left the B site. He's dashed back towards it. He used his dash to get into B.
Maybe he didn't hear him mid after all, but with that said, they still have to breach that B choke point. And it's not looking great right now because, as you say, Tens is now in position. And they're going to go back.
B'ye geri gelmek için dash atmış.
Catches Shazam. What does that tell them? They've got 20 seconds to plant the spike. This is a huge map, and they have to run all the way around. We've got the catch here in spawn as well. What enough does this mean if you're Sentinels? They have to work this one out. In fact, Zoms will go forward and find another one. But where is the spike? 10 seconds to plant the spike. Khalil's killing absolutely everybody. But the spike has to go down. There's just enough time here to get it planted, but there might be a player there. The wall's going to drop Zoms. Oh, just not going to be able to see anything in time. And there it goes. The spike is planting.
Son anda kurdular.
An angle on it, and there's the frag. QCK locks it in. What a crazy round. What a crazy finish to the first half.
İlk elde alırlarsa Sentinels'ın işi zor. Ama hiç belli olmaz tabii Sentinels.
They won one of the bleed out the clock type
12'dan bile
rounds. This is
çevrilebilir
what
maç.
Furia has been lacking all series long. They are massively in the driver's seat right now. 8-4 lead going into the defensive half.
Well, we want to take a quick breather. It's time to go back to the desk to talk about that half.
Thank you so much.
Ne dediysem tersi oldu ya, max 6 el alır dedik. 8-4 önden arada elemanlar.
It's going to take for us to feel confident in Furia going into the back half of this map, and 8-4 was the answer, and they found it. They found it.
I mean, this was a really good half. A few key tactical mistakes in there, but otherwise, Dash, they were great.
It wasn't just the fact that they were great. You know who was very, very great, and I know that is not
yani daha grup maçı ya.
pronunciation anyway, shape or form. Khalil.
Onlar için öyle konuşmak için bence biraz erken.
The man was unstoppable. And I know we usually look to the Jets here on Breeze, but the story's being told by the Killjoy here.
Yeah, top frag map 1, top fragging so far here on map number 2 for his team. It's the flanks. It's
Valorant bu arkadaşlar. 12-0'dan bile maç döner. Ha? Sizin YouTube'u. İzle o maçı.
Yeah, this is a really new kind of wrinkle to Khalil, really giving him a little bit more free reign. The coach putting a lot of trust in their key player here to give him the ability to go for the flanks, go for the wide angles, and find members of Sentinels not aware of his positioning.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a phenomenal player. I know you went absolutely nuclear on the pre-desk about him. You're like, you gotta watch this man. He just knows how to hit everything. He's awesome. And now he's playing a little bit of a different style to what you expected, and that's giving him even more free reign to do whatever he wants. This highlight reel should be enough to tell you that not only is he able to use
şaka maka 2021'de bitti lan.
Success, it's not just that. He's also able to get the shots down on. And I know you and I were talking about before the fact that Furia, they like to force on their second round. We haven't seen it. Yeah, man. I mean, they did it, and that was successful.
Yeah, this was something that I had put down in my notes. It wasn't something we got to talk about much because they won both the pistol rounds on Ascent. Right. So there was no reason for them to force. But this is something they are very keen to do, and you can see why. Especially on the attacker side, it makes a lot of sense. This is their side. This is where they have to get their work done. They have to come through big. And there's no better way to do that than to catch the other team off guard a little bit, grabbing some bigger guns off the opponent's anti-ecosystem.
Now 8-4, that does give us some confidence. But as we know, you never count out. They're a team that usually ramps up as time goes on, as they figure you out, and now they move themselves.
Ağacın yeri hazır ya.
We're gonna head back over to our casters, DDK and Sean, for the call.
And we are back into the second half. Furia, they are threatening Sentinels very much right now, Sean. 8-4, it's a huge first half, but this map is very different on the defense.
Yeah, on Sentinel's map pick nonetheless, Dan. But Sentinels, we're gearing up for a fast round here. Zomb's going to throw his poison in. He's going to go Dapper. This is going to be a fast A split. 2 people are going to go up Sands. 10's picking into the site right now, though. Look, if you look at Furia, they're going to fast retake. There's 5 people here, Dan.
Oh, they might actually catch him before they get to the cross angle, and actually that's really interesting.
Oy.
Maybe it benefits Tens. He's got that Sheriff in hand doing the damage, dashing back, but Furia trading quite nicely, 3 versus 3. And in fact, it's now Furia, there's one man to the good. And this is just deathmatch right now between these two teams.
Guys, ne yapıyorsun amına koyayım ya?
He's caught in the open, and Furia pick up another pistol round.
Saçma yaklaştı.
Furia 3 of 4, 9-4 right now in this map, Dan. Massive economic advantage on this round. Sometimes you see teams force buy on the second round if they get the spike down. Sentinels is in a scenario right now where they would have to make a really hobbled buy here. Yeah, they're not going to do that. Yeah. They're saving here, Dan. They have a Marshall on Sick, a Sheriff on Tens, a Sheriff on Dapper, so they're making light purchases here. But we could potentially be looking at a 10-4 scoreline here.
And we've got the toxic screen set up on B for Furia to defend with. I really like that, actually.
They've shifted it over a little bit to the right so that way it fully blocks all the way into mid and leaves the gap along the back wall of B. That's very interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great spot there. Someone's creeping forward. And Fury don't have to do anything fancy here.
Ooh, Dapper has a great timing right now at B elbow. Dan, he went right by the Trailblazer. Ooh, but he doesn't take it. He falls back. And meanwhile in Halls, big presence made by Zombie gets taken out by the double damage shock dart. Brutal.
And there we go, some of the numbers whittled away for Sentinels. So there is certainly strength in numbers when you're in a buy that is disadvantageous like this, but Xan has got a good timing. So good lick of damage there onto Sick as well. And has that forward position, just shutting down the choke point. Such a difficult player to deal with in a scenario like this. Oh my god, he's insane, but Sick is just as insane. What a shot.
Sick'in de vuruşu efsane harbiden ha.
Sick, we'll try to reset, 20 seconds to go. They're in hot pursuit of Sick here. They really want to take him down.
dear. Yeah, Sick needs to die. Yeah, they might purposely let him live. You can see they're running away. They want him to save this Marshall. He can't make it to the site.
Oh dear.
Oh no, Dan. This is a disaster.
Ne yapacaksın? Nasıl öleceksin?
Played by Furia to make him save this Marshall. He just wants someone to kill him.
And there he was all along the
Aa, öldürmedi de.
It's tragic.
It's so funny as well because the call.
Kendi kekolu iyi oldu.
That one was in hot pursuit, but yeah, great call there to force him to survive. The shame, the embarrassment, but more so the lack of money. I don't know how that works. I thought that had to be a no scope.
Yeah.
But he somehow scoped in on that one.
Yeah.
I don't understand how that works. But
Dilendi abi.
his reward is to keep the Marshall for another round. So.
Oh my God, another interesting, unique wall here at the B side. But this is an all-out mid-aggression on the bonus, Dan.
Yeah, there's a quick push there, and it makes a lot of sense. They're on these SMGs still. They have saved them from the previous round, so this fight in mid is a good one to take for Furia. And it's a 3v3. And they're still on these Spectres, and now they're starting to find themselves in unfavorable fights, as we can see there in mid. So it gets the upgrade. Yeah.
This is where things get really tricky for Furia, because it's such a big map that once you spot one of these two players, you can probably just go to the other site blindly, or you could just go into that player knowing that the second isn't anywhere around him. So Sentinels has a massive advantage in this 3-on-2. It's even more of an advantage than some of the other maps in the pool.
Yeah, yeah, completely agree. And with the Spectres still from the bonus,
caution here.
It's going to be hard to find much. You don't have that one-shot potential of a Vandal, a Sheriff.
Very good timing here from NZR, though. See, Sentinels is pushed up aggressively. They have no one holding the flank, which is actually where both of these Furia players are coming from.
Benim Valorant'ta sensimi yükseltmem lazım ya.
There's a recon available and two shock darts.
Bayağı yükseltip ona alışmaya çalışacağım. Bayağı bir süre sıçacağım belki aim konusunda. Ama yükseltmem lazım. Çok yavaş.
Khalil will fall there. One more Spectre remains.
Ay sens şekli de değil. Benim sensim çok düşük ya.
Yeah, you know the classic move. Okay, we found a safe exit. I believe it was Sick that cleared spawn. And was like, all right, guys, this is absolutely safe. Don't know about anything else, but let's just go to safe territory. And that's 5 to 10. Sentinels pick one up.
En kötü tahminlere düşeriz.
But of course, that was the bonus for Furia, so that was sort of by design.
Yes, and I mean, Furia tried to make that as messy as possible with that mid push.
Benimki 800 DPI. Yok 0.37 de değil. 0.44 yaptım hani biraz yükselttim gene. Ama o da yetmiyor.
They push aggressively into mid and have very fast retakes because of this.
Oh, some information there for both teams. Sentinels will realize there's likely something going on in mid.
Dapper and Sick lurking their way up A halls right now. Dan, they're going up to the door. There's
İşte
no
o
trip,
800
no alarm bot,
DPI'ye
nothing stopping.
böyle bir 0.46 falan yapsam
Beautiful QCK picks up one, and they've
hiç
got that
olmazsa
mid
bir
control, so he doesn't
0.45
have to
yapayım
worry
ya.
about that. Xan is in the door or around the door position, keeping it safe. So right now, Furia in a great position. Dapper trying to find something. You know exactly where he is, surely. QCK, though, can't take him down. He's spraying forward. NCR with the trade. 4 versus 3 in favor still Shazam. He's picked up a Hunter's Fury now.
He has that Hunter's Fury. The Viper Wall still online for Zombs. A very, very aggressive Viper Wall, too. And Sentinels has all the control behind it. That's a lot of positions they can be in because of how pushed up this Viper Wall is. Hunter's Fury back in that stance position. He can ult the plant. He can ult the run-in. Many options right now for the Indian leader. And there it is.
Oy.
Oh, now they're actually going to be able to dodge this one. Perhaps another up jump comes through to do that. And Tens is just making quick work of these players.
Uyandı. Uyandı canavar.
Around the Hunter's Fury. Tens will strike.
Şuraya 4 aldılar ha.
Another round for Sentinels. It was close, but it's a great recovery.
Jeez, yeah. Dodging the Hunter's Fury when Tens is hunting you down. Imagine that. Imagine. Doesn't sound very fun.
That's hardly fair.
No, it's not very fair at all. Those look like free kills for Tens, thanks to Shazam, you know, making them jump all
Numaralı gözlüğüm. 0.50 astigmat.
Much needed first gun round there for Sentinels.
Sanchez uyandı ya. Şimdi Eko bu elde aldı, ona yedi.
They're still very far behind in this game, 10-6, but they forced Furia onto an eco. So you can see the distance starting to close.
Oh, Paz thinking, yeah, going for the push here. 3B main. Oh, he's found one. That Marshall sick, he's picked it up and Xan in a deep position. Oh, the drone's going to tag QCK and it might not spot Xan. Indeed, it did not, but oh, they might go into Xan now.
They might, Dan.
Oh, the timing there, and he's going to be able to pick it up. That's a spike down as well. Chances now here for Furia to strike right back after losing a round.
Devam ederdin lan
Spike
oradan.
recovered. There's a lot of time, and they know that Xan is around the B
Adamın bir
side.
canı
Can
var.
they challenge it?
A'ya gidiyorlar.
Dan, look at this.
Duydu ki Tenz onları.
Absolutely wrong. The confidence on Sentinels to keep heading into the
Peki.
same site where the Neural Theft spotted everyone.
Peki bro.
It is a mind game being played right now for the in-game leader on the Sentinels team,
left.
and Zom's gonna get that free plant 3-on-3. Bladestorm's still in play though. And they're not messing around. The Viper's Pit immediately cast down. Tenz aggressively peeking into spawn. That's going to give all the information to Shazam, who hears this. Thunderfooting in mid.
Oh, but if he dies, he will give away a gun. 7 HP, so he's going to find the timing. Takes out one, they know that he's there on the back there. The recon comes out. Can he survive here? Again, oh, he's already understanding precisely where Jet is. Shazam wasn't even see you to kill you.
Neler yaptı,
He will
neler.
eventually get taken out, but he's basically won the round for his team. 1 HP on NZR.
Bir can.
Not a good look coming out of the Viper's Pit. Zones will meet NZR.
Yani dönüp A'ya gitmeleri çok saçmaydı abi.
Trailing, but it just seems like they're so hard to kill.
Yes. Yeah, it seems like
Bir de Zent'ten yani biraz daha orada oynamasını beklerdim. Bombayı düşürdün. Niye bu kadar pusiledin bir anda?
You have to have some incredible plays to shut them out, right? You have to come up big on an individual and tactical level if you want to defeat Sentinels. I've seen a lot of teams have leads on them. Not many close them out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Xan looking to go deep here with aim behind the Sky Flash.
He's through, Dan.
He is through, and there's Hunter's Fury, and oh, it's a freebie. Xan is going to be able to take him down. That's beautiful work. And Tenz is trying to find him.
Oh, he has him pinned, Dan.
Yeah, Marsden was trying to support
Hala burada adam.
Xan, but he gets nailed by Tenz. So Xan is back out there alone. And here comes Zoms looking for the angle. The pre.
Hala ölmedi. Tenz de öldü. Oo.
And that's a 3v2. And Dapper
Aha.
takes QCK. That
2v2.
The B site's open, but Dapper could get caught in this mid nest, Dan.
There's a drop. Oh, the timing is terrible for
Büyük
Dapper.
timing.
Furia quickly rotating towards the site. Sick.
Dapper. Ay Sik. Al lan Sik.
These two people are stuck so close together.
Aldı.
Set coming through for Sick as he walks towards spawn. Wants to
Gösterme.
eliminate his positions. It's a great
Gösterme.
position. Does dodge the
Sakın.
drone. They've
Tamam,
no
oyna
idea where
şimdi.
Sick is.
Onu vur çabuk vur. Nice oğlum, bekle. At flash'ı. Tamam, geç öbür tarafa. Eyvah.
There's the engagement and it's good for NCR. Oh, what a finish.
Wow, what a clutch from NZR. He just lobs out a recon.
Ah
We've seen him do that
be.
actually on these retakes throughout this series, Dan. Very just
Kral-
on the
Kral
fly
kendini de kör
recon
etti bir de.
moves, right? Not these lineups that you're seeing around the scene right now. Just quick on the fly ones that can't be broken. Completely flusters Sick in that one-on-one. Massive round from the boys from Brazil.
That's amazing. And it's so cool to see in that 1v1. You can see that Sick is trying to reposition when his opponent cannot see him. But those small details kept the vision, and then Sick got stuck in the open in a position that was known. And that's the difference. If he's in the open, but he's on an off angle that's unknown, he wins that fight.
Yeah.
Huge, huge play.
That single recon won that round. That's
crazy.
Such a heads-up play to quickly toss that after getting blind.
And that's one of those rounds we get the Sentinels timeout. That's one of those rounds that could break their back.
Paraları var.
Right now, Sentinels have no money after this buy. Yeah. If they lose this buy, I think we're going to 3 maps.
I think so too, Dan. I think, you know, they're on the back foot right now. They are definitely not in the
Oyunun sesini bir tık açabilir misin? Dostum, ben yayını yayınlıyorum. Oyunun sesine müdahalem yok maalesef.
I really like seeing that, right? We haven't really seen a match with him on the team, and you can see he's having impact in the team. He's very vocal right now in this tack timeout for Sentinels.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, yeah, that is a completely new sight for Sentinels. Usually it's just all on the back of the 5 players that you see sat at the computers on stage.
Yeah, perhaps one of the craziest things in the scene is our best team was a team without a coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, all done with Shazam as in this in-game leader role. You know, they finally have gotten their coach coming into this tournament. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not impressed so far by the new look of Sentinels. They've given a couple new looks.
Yep.
But this tack timeout, this is a good test right now for Raucus.
Yeah, the whole thing is all about the coach is that you have a perspective that's not in the game. Yes. You know, every single player, okay, I'm gonna have to explain that. Every single player has their own point of view, but he can see everything.
Oh damn, we're live right here.
Oh, wait, let's
the
right
secrets are going into the connector right now. This
Ne oluyor lan, başladık mı amına koyayım?
Straight in. The defense is still in place though. We've got players backside. Great shot shooting from Maz in a distance, but TenZ is even better. They're taking down Khalil. Trading kills like crazy right now. TenZ is doing so much damage.
Çocuğu ya.
Oh my god.
Ne yapıyor oğlum?
Actually follow, but we get the 2v2 at the end, and the spike goes down. Drone looking for some information there as TenZ resets onto the flank. Around cave.
QCK will flank here. It's going to be a very long flank, and TenZ could get timed on this flank. The 1v1 between the Sova is huge as well, but TenZ is distracted, and the flank is getting closer, Dan.
Oh, the distraction.
It's
still there. It's still there. And in fact, he wins the battle. Oh no! QCK is going to make that flank look fantastic. I don't even know how TenZ
TenZ daha ne yapsın abi? 3 adam vurdu amına koyayım.
From the remainder of Furia in that 2v2. That's I can't believe it.
Yeah, he did everything he could. He did everything that Sentinels would ask of him. He found 3 on the round to open things up. They get in.
Ömer Fahir 10. ayın kutlu olsun.
Hoş geldin. But the 2v2s are finally going Furia's way. The mid-round, the late rounds, everything is falling in the Brazilian team's favor now. Where in the past we saw, you know, that veteran experience come up big for Sentinels, it's missing here.
Oh my god, TenZ is a machine.
İkili çok iyiydi.
The heads up 1v1 there against TenZ is honestly outrageous.
Yes.
That he wins that. And that's just, we talked about that being the round that could break the back and win the map. There is still fight left in Sentinels yet, but it's going to be tough. TenZ already
Bunu benden gördü.
off the back of the
Ben buldum
Blade
bu
Storm,
spotu.
through to the B site.
Abi.
Spotted no one was Nest, so you can see he's playing really, really aggressive right now. He's taking these angles without any utility help from
Şaka yapmıyorum bu arada.
He's going back into B though. This is an all-out B hit, Dan. It's do or die right now for Sentinels. Dapper lurking in mid all by himself. 4 players over here at B. The wall's already up. They have nothing to fall back to A with.
Nowhere to run.
Oh, the Hunter's Fury comes in as well. Is he going to be able to find any damage? Oh, does actually tag some players, but oh, it's actually not too much of a tag.
Spike planted.
I think actually TenZ got hit by something else at the same time.
Yeah, TenZ actually got hit by the Hunter's Fury. That makes him a one-shot to a Phantom. Keep that in mind, Dan.
QCK will take down Shazam there as well, so threatening everything at the moment. That mid
Shazam
position
tam
from
fokus
Dapper, not
olamamış
expected.
sanki ya.
Little hops here from TenZ. Hot shots to hit, but of course he finds it! And with that, 3 left here on the retake attempt. There is time still for Furia, but they have to force the issue.
İnternet Explorer amına.
Don't know what Dapper's doing. You can see that
Abi ben
presence
senden
in mid is just so painful to have to constantly worry about. And Dapper, knowing they're not going for it, trying to get into a position to cut them off, but he will get taken down finally. What a round here from TenZ. He's just trying to eliminate everybody,
Buraya da.
but there we go. Sentinels stay in it. 1 more round. Can they do it?
12-8.
4 more times.
Yeah, 4 more times, then. Jeez, look at that scoreboard. TenZ, 19 and 16. But again, like the first map, he's putting up these numbers, but it doesn't feel like a TenZ performance, right? I don't feel the early round domination. I'm getting the highlights. Like these rounds right here, he'll bust out, and he'll win Sentinels those rounds. But something's missing from Sentinels in this game so far. I'm not really sure what it is right now watching, but this is another one of those really fast A pulse controls rounds that Sentinels keeps on running.
And this time we've got Wtcn on the Blaze Storm, going deep in middle, looking to see what he can find. Not too much there in mid for him just yet. You can see Sentinels have slowed the pace. Got that deep poison orb in holes. Dapper lurking up against it. The coactive Fury out there making so much noise. Dapper hears everything, of course. as will Tens.
Yeah, this playstyle from Furia has caught Sentinels off a
Nice.
lot, but this round not on 6 watch. Gets the first frag, falls back. Sentinel's still in that base passive setup, and Dapper has lurked through halls, Dan. He's through.
Var bir daha Tegin.
Oh no.
Ekleyecek.
Do they understand? Okay, well the turret's there. That's good. That's going to cover that eventuality for Khalil. Reposition for Khalil. We'll keep him safe for now. Xan still in the picture. 4 versus 5 though for Furia. They need something
Oy.
special. What a shot from Tens. Takes down Xan. That's the Blaze Storm out of the round for Furia. And
Nice oğlum Shazam, işte bu ya.
Away.
Köprü var. Köprü dikkat.
Apart one by one. Nice little shot from QCK, but there's more to find, of course. And Sentinels have a fully stacked site.
Indeed, and this is getting to the point, right? We're deep in this match, and every gun matters. Furia has to be looking at this 2-on-4 now as, you know, an economic
Vuruyorlar.
decision. It's not just whether we can win the round.
Yani
Can we
mantıklı.
take these weapons in the next round?
Denemektense,
What's the
ekonomiyi
optimal way to get
kötüye
as many buys as
yormaktansa
possible in these last 3 rounds? So they're going to opt to save
mantıklı.
these guns. They still have the lockdown on Khalil. They have the Hunter's Fury on NCR. The Blade Storm.
Evet, yoksa bir comeback'e mi şahit oluyoruz arkadaşlar? Ne diyorsunuz ya?
And Sentinels is definitely not out of in the clear yet.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, the ultimates that are in play for Furia, they will have nearly everything, and so that advantage certainly exists because Sentinels are very far away
Yo
from
mu?
a sort of meaningful ult in terms of, you know,
Ben
actually executing a site
mallamazsam okey
or
abi.
anything like that. All they have right now is a neural theft.
Yani iyi oynuyor ya şu an.
So
Asıl diğerleri
Furia,
mallamazsa.
if they have good retake setups,
Ya
if
orası
they've
da var da işte
Yeah, if they
tens
got
taşıdığı
updates
için
with
hani.
I'm going to cut you off here. This is a massive future pace run that I'm seeing right now at Sentinels. I'm seeing Zoms over at this A site.
Bu çok önemli killdi bu arada.
Right now grouped up to the B barrier. I really think we're going to get the first misdirection type of round from Sentinels, where Zoms is going to try to fake this A site. He's running away already. He just poison orbed the halls just to try to initiate that same default pressure on the halls player. But if you look, this is 100% going to B site, and it is open. Furia has fallen for this completely.
They've got the backside wall for the retake, and let's not forget they have, if they want it, that lockdown as well. And the Hunter's Fury, they can trap Sentinels into very few positions.
I really don't know where you would use the lockdown from, though. Where could you possibly use that from to retake this massive site?
Maybe the elbow position, looks like they're going for it. There it goes.
Wow,
And it's going to
there it
cover
is.
most of the site. Oh, they're going to try to defend this one. Can they do it?
Nice.
Zoms tapping away.
Nice.
Tapping away.
Nice,
And he's
oğlum,
taking down
Zoms.
absolutely everybody. And the lockdown's been destroyed as well. And that's going to keep players
Nereye
alive on the
çıktın
site.
Tens amına
Updrop
koyayım?
into an elevated position for Tens. He's very
Helal
lucky
oğlum.
with Sentinel staying alive.
12-10.
Another round. And now they have the advantage.
Bu el kritik. Bu elde de alırlarsa 12-12.
Burn all of theirs.
Yes. That's a little scary.
Bir daha
now
ekoya
for
düşer.
Fury. You're playing with fire. You're getting close into the edge of this game, using ults right there in your eco round. And Zoms, boy oh boy did he need to come up big here. This would have been heartbreaking to lose to a buy like this with a lockdown to retake the B site. Massive 3K
Arda
by him
Turan.
breaking the lockdown.
Another timeout.
This is awesome. I mean, this is one of the first games
Evet,
I've seen
bu round
both teams
direnci kırma
actively use
roundu.
their timeouts.
Yeah.
You know, come in with refreshed looks after each one. There's been so many ways both of these teams have adapted throughout this series. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, I totally agree, and it's going right to the last here. Can Sentinels complete the comeback? And I mean, there's a huge test here of resiliency for Furia to not be too hasty, to hold their nerve, to be calm under the pressure. That right now, even though Sentinels are down 2 rounds and they have to force overtime, absolutely Sentinels feel more confident.
Yeah, well, I completely agree. They definitely feel more confident right now. And it's weird, they've always have this swagger to them. Even when they're down in matches, they're always confident in taking their aim duels in the server, right? I see a lot of teams shell up, not this one. But I will say this, they have yet to realize that Furia is leaving the B site actively almost every round by playing this aggressive mid setup, and they're going to do it again to Sentinels. I can see the setup now. The Sky and Jet are going to take control of this mid pillar. Yet again, they're going to be in the mid doors for an A split, which looks like it's going to happen. Zom's smoking the A hall's door right now for Dapper's lurk. You know, Sick going to use the Trailblazer up over here at A. Chaz actually might drone with it.
There's that Trailblazer looking for the early info. Gets taken down by QCK on A. The aggressive, or rather the Viper wall coming in from both sides. On the A
Yalnız
side.
daha AWP
And
var.
so much mid control indeed. Furia likely have a good read of Sentinel's position. Deep flash comes through. Goes 10 straight
Gördü.
through. He's looking for that opening now.
Köprüdeki adam
Where
gördü.
is QCK trying to find him? The Seeker's trying to give that information to him. QCK stays alive. There's the tag though. Oh, QCK under so much pressure. Trying to stay alive. Trying to find the right way to engage this one and get his teammates into position. Tens actually burns the dash. And this is a slow
Giremediler.
Sentinels. That's buying time for Furia to get in position. Dapper there by the door.